Hi, loving listener. Have you ever stepped into a room and felt almost invisible, while someone else, without saying a single word, seemed to draw everyone's eyes? It's not their expensive watch, tall height, or loud voice. It's something silent yet powerful. A presence that speaks before words. Many people think this is luck or a gift you are born with, but the truth is different. This quiet power is built slowly, day by day, through habits that shape the way they think, move, and live. Powerful men are not born with unshakable confidence or magnetic energy. They build it. They follow a system, simple daily actions that become part of who they are. These habits don't make them perfect. They make them steady, calm, and quietly strong. Today, let's explore these 13 life-changing habits together. Each one can help you become the strongest, most focused, and most peaceful version of yourself. Not to impress the world, but to live life with purpose and quiet confidence. Let's begin this journey and see what truly makes a person's presence unforgettable. Habit 1. They begin their day before the world wakes up. Powerful men understand something that many people overlook. The first hour of your day can quietly decide the quality of the next 23. That's why they choose to wake up early, often before the sun rises and long before the world's noise begins. It isn't about proving something to others or showing off discipline for applause. It's about carving out a sacred space of stillness, a calm shelter of time where they can meet themselves fully, without interruption or distraction. In these quiet moments before the rest of the world even opens its eyes, powerful men do something simple yet transformative. They pause, they plan, and they prepare. Imagine this. While the city sleeps, they stand by their window, take a deep breath, and feel grateful for the day ahead. Their morning doesn't start with a screen lighting up or a flood of notifications. Instead, it begins with intention. Some may journal, pouring thoughts and plans onto paper to clear their minds and set priorities. Others might sit quietly in meditation, training their attention and observing their thoughts like gentle waves, letting them rise and fall without being carried away. Some choose movement, stretching, yoga, a walk under the pale morning sky, or a workout that strengthens not only their muscles, but also their resolve. Through each of these practices, they aren't just passing time, they are building themselves from within. In the early morning, there are no demands to answer, no voices to please, no eyes to watch them. There is only clarity. It's a time to ask questions that get lost during the rush of the day. What truly matters to me? What will make today meaningful? What do I need to let go of? And what do I need to embrace? These moments of self-reflection sharpen their focus. When the world finally wakes up, when emails start arriving, when meetings begin, when the unexpected happens, they aren't caught off guard. They already know their direction. They aren't dragged around by other people's urgency because they have already defined their own. It's also about respect. Respect for time, respect for themselves, and respect for life. Waking up early is not punishment. It is a quiet declaration. My goals, my mind, and my peace matter enough to be my first priority. It's easier to stay under warm blankets, to delay the start of the day until it becomes a rush. But powerful men choose differently because they know that comfort in the morning often leads to regret at night. They choose discipline over delay, clarity over chaos. And this habit, practiced day after day, creates a ripple effect. Their mornings give them calm confidence that carries into every conversation, every decision, and every challenge they face. It's not about being perfect, it's about being prepared. And by owning the first hour of the day, they learn to own their choices, their mindset, and ultimately their destiny. So, waking up early isn't just a routine. It's a silent promise to themselves. A promise to rise before the world, to strengthen the mind and heart, and to step into the day not as someone reacting to life, but as someone leading it. And that, quietly but powerfully, changes everything. Habit 2. They keep their words few and strong. Powerful men understand a truth that many overlook. Words are not simply sounds to fill empty spaces. They are tools to build trust, shape perceptions, and guide actions. While others feel uncomfortable in silence and rush to speak, powerful men do the opposite. They pause, they think, and then they speak, carefully choosing words that carry meaning rather than noise. It is not because they are shy or unsure. It is because they value the energy behind every word and the effect those words can have on others and on themselves. Think about it. When someone talks endlessly about what they plan to do, why they are right, or how great they are, people quickly learn to stop listening. Words become cheap when they are given away too easily. Powerful men know this. That is why they don't reveal every thought or share every plan. They keep parts of themselves quietly guarded, not from fear, but from wisdom. They understand that mystery is not about hiding who you are. It is about revealing only what truly matters. Their conversations are different. They don't waste words on gossip or empty praise. They don't talk over others to prove dominance. Instead, they listen, truly listen, with their full attention. When they do speak, it feels deliberate, almost as if each word has been weighed and chosen with care. This doesn't just make them sound confident, it makes them trustworthy. People start to notice that when this person speaks, it is worth hearing. Their words carry a certain gravity because they aren't given lightly. This way of speaking also changes how they see the world. By refusing to argue about every small disagreement or defend themselves unnecessarily, they keep their minds calmer. They don't feel the need to win every debate because they are not driven by insecurity. Instead, they know that true power often lies in silence, in letting others speak, reveal themselves, and even underestimate you. In those moments, they conserve their energy, choosing when and how to respond. And when they do speak about their dreams or plans, it is never to boast. It is usually only after they have already done the work, when results speak louder than any words could. This quiet approach has another advantage. It protects them from outside negativity. By keeping their goals private, they avoid early criticism, doubt, or jealousy from others who might try to discourage them. This habit is not easy in a world where everyone is encouraged to share every thought online, to speak louder and faster to be noticed. But powerful men know something deeper. The more you speak, the more you reveal your weaknesses, your doubts, and your unfinished thoughts. By speaking less, they reveal only what is necessary, keeping their dignity and self-respect intact. In the end, their words feel strong, not because they use big or complicated language, but because they speak with honesty, purpose, and restraint. And this way of speaking doesn't make them less visible. It makes them unforgettable. People remember them not for how much they said, but for how what they said stayed in the mind long after the conversation ended. Their silence invites curiosity. Their words earn respect. And together, this creates a presence that can't be faked. A presence built not from noise, but from quiet strength. Habit 3. They master their body language. Before a powerful man ever opens his mouth, he is already speaking. His body tells a story of calm strength, quiet confidence, and self-respect that words alone could never fully express. This is why powerful men spend time mastering their body language, not out of vanity, but because they understand that the human mind reads posture, movement, and expression faster than it processes words. Even in silence, they are communicating who they are and what they stand for. Powerful men stand tall, not in a way that shouts arrogance, but in a posture that whispers self-assurance. Shoulders relaxed yet straight, back unbent by the weight of doubt or fear. This posture tells the world, and themselves, that they belong wherever they choose to be. Their walk is steady and deliberate, each step grounded and sure, as though they have a purpose even if they are only crossing a room. They do not rush because they are not controlled by panic or urgency. This calm movement gives an unspoken message. I am comfortable with who I am and where I am going. Eye contact is another silent language they speak fluently. They look at others directly, not to intimidate, but to show they are present, paying attention, and unafraid. Yet they also know when to soften their gaze, to listen without turning it into a contest of dominance. Their handshake is firm enough to show confidence, yet gentle enough to show respect. A balance that reflects inner strength combined with humility. Even in stressful moments, powerful men keep their gestures controlled. Their hands don't fidget endlessly, their feet don't tap impatiently, and their breathing remains steady. By staying composed on the outside, they train their minds to remain calm on the inside too. This is not about pretending to be calm. It is about creating real calm through practice. Over time, it becomes natural, part of who they are. They also understand the power of stillness. In conversations, they do not rush to fill every pause. They let silence do its work, allowing others to speak more freely or to feel the weight of what has just been said. This silence is not awkward for them. It is an intentional space where meaning deepens and trust can grow. What makes this body language powerful is that it aligns with their true character. They don't fake gestures they don't believe in, because people can sense when body language feels forced or unnatural. Instead, they first work on their mindset, cultivating self-respect, purpose, and discipline, and then allow these qualities to naturally express themselves through posture, movement, and eye contact. This harmony between inside and outside is what makes their presence feel authentic and quietly magnetic. Later, it is the energy of someone who is grounded, self-aware, and quietly strong. Through mastering their body language, powerful men communicate something words could never say, a silent confidence that others feel immediately and remember long after. Habit 4. They build discipline like a muscle. Discipline is often misunderstood as something only a few lucky people naturally have, but powerful men know the truth. Discipline isn't born, it's built. They treat discipline the same way an athlete treats a muscle in the body. It doesn't grow overnight, and it certainly doesn't grow by wishing for it. It grows through daily practice, small efforts, and consistent challenges that slowly but surely create strength where once there was weakness. Every choice, every small promise kept, becomes another repetition in this invisible gym of the mind. Powerful men begin by making simple commitments, waking up at a set hour, finishing a task before resting, or choosing to read instead of scrolling endlessly through a phone. These aren't heroic acts on their own, but each time they keep such a promise, something quietly changes inside. Self-trust grows, like laying bricks to build an unshakable wall. They start to believe, truly and deeply, they can rely on themselves, and that belief becomes one of their greatest sources of power. They understand a lesson many ignore. Discipline doesn't wait for motivation to appear. Motivation is like the weather. It comes and goes, often without warning. But discipline is different. It's like a habit, built into the bones of daily life. On days when they feel tired, discouraged, or distracted, they still act. Not because it's easy, but because they've trained themselves to value results over feelings. This quiet determination is what sets them apart. While others stop when it feels hard, powerful men keep moving forward. It's not about punishing themselves either. True discipline isn't harsh or cruel. Instead, it feels like self-respect in action, a daily reminder that their goals and values matter enough to be protected. Saying no to temptations, like an extra hour of sleep or distractions that offer only momentary pleasure, isn't an act of denial, but an act of choosing something better. Over time, these choices become part of who they are, not just what they do. Through this process, powerful men discover something surprising. Discipline doesn't just create better habits. It builds an inner calm that others notice, even if they can't explain why. In stressful times, they don't panic because they know they can rely on their own consistency. In moments of doubt, they find strength in their track record of small, steady victories. And when big challenges appear, they face them with quiet confidence, built through countless days of doing hard things when it would have been easier to quit. This habit of building discipline like a muscle isn't flashy, and it won't attract loud applause. But over the years, its effect is impossible to ignore. It shapes the very foundation of their character, giving them a calm power that can't be faked or borrowed. And so, while others wait for motivation to knock at the door, powerful men go out and build discipline, one choice at a time, until it becomes as natural and steady as breathing. In the end, this is what truly makes them different. They don't rely on mood or luck to succeed. They rely on themselves. Habit 5. They control their emotions, but never hide them. Many people mistake emotional control for emotional coldness, believing that to be powerful is to shut down feelings and walk through life like a stone. But powerful men know something deeper. Real strength isn't about pretending not to feel. It's about knowing exactly what you feel and choosing how to act, rather than letting those feelings decide for you. They don't reject emotions like anger, sadness, or fear, because these are part of being fully human. Instead, they invite these feelings in, listen to what they have to say, and then respond, not react. Imagine a powerful man faced with sudden criticism or betrayal. The first wave of emotion hits, anger, frustration, maybe even disappointment. But instead of exploding, shouting, or throwing blame, he pauses. This pause isn't weakness, it's practice. It comes from countless times of learning to breathe through the first reaction, giving space for clarity to rise. In that quiet space, he asks himself honest questions. Why am I truly angry? Is it because my values were challenged? Is this anger asking me to speak up, or is it better to let it pass? This self-dialogue transforms raw emotion into thoughtful action. By doing this, powerful men build trust with those around them. Friends, family, and colleagues know that even in heated moments, they won't become someone entirely different, someone unpredictable or cruel. Their calm is not emptiness. It is controlled energy. And this doesn't mean they never show emotion. Far from it. Their laughter feels genuine. Their kindness feels deep. And when they speak from pain, it feels real, not forced. They have warmth in their words and compassion in their actions, precisely because they are not running away from what they feel. The difference lies in choice. Powerful men choose to express emotion in ways that align with their values and protect their peace. They don't insult or belittle in anger. They don't freeze or withdraw completely in sadness. Instead, they might talk openly to someone they trust, write their thoughts in a journal, or channel that emotional energy into something creative or productive. Through these habits, emotions become guides rather than masters. This quiet emotional strength also shapes how they see others. Because they know the struggle of mastering their own emotions, they become more understanding of the struggles others face. They become better listeners, offering patience and empathy rather than quick judgment. Their ability to stay grounded makes people feel safe around them, and that safety builds respect and loyalty. What makes this habit so powerful is that it keeps them fully alive. They do not become cold statues, untouched by life's beauty or pain. They remain open-hearted, capable of deep joy and deep sorrow, but with a mind steady enough to navigate both. Over time, this balance between feeling deeply and acting wisely becomes part of who they are, a natural strength that cannot be faked. In the end, powerful men know that emotions, when respected and understood, become a source of wisdom and connection. By controlling emotions without hiding them, they remain strong yet human, steady yet warm, and this rare balance is what truly makes their presence so quietly powerful. Habit 6. They value solitude. In a world that never stops talking, where every minute is filled with notifications, conversations, and noise, solitude often feels like something to fear or avoid. Many people think being alone means being lonely or forgotten. But powerful men know that solitude is not emptiness. It is a quiet, sacred space where they reconnect with who they truly are. Far from running away from it, they seek solitude regularly, treating it as a form of deep self-care, reflection, and renewal. For powerful men, solitude isn't just a break from people or responsibilities. It is a deliberate choice to step back from the rush of the outside world and listen to their own thoughts without distraction. They might choose to wake up before dawn and sit silently with a cup of tea, letting their minds settle before the day begins. Or they might take a walk in nature, away from the buzzing of phones and the pull of screens. In these moments, they aren't filling silence with podcasts, music, or endless scrolling. Instead, they give themselves the rare gift of simply being present. It is during these moments of solitude that powerful men ask themselves questions that get lost in daily life. Am I living in line with my values? What do I truly want next, not what others expect? Where am I holding on too tightly, and what do I need to release? These questions are not always comfortable, but they are necessary. Solitude becomes a kind of mirror, honest, clear, and sometimes challenging. It helps them see what's real and what's just noise. While many fear what they might find in silence, powerful men learn to trust it. Over time, they discover that solitude doesn't isolate them, it strengthens them. It gives them clarity, helping them decide which opportunities to chase and which distractions to ignore. This habit keeps them from being pulled in 100 directions by other people's opinions, demands, or passing trends. It protects them from living reactively, always answering the world's calls without ever asking what they truly want. This comfort with solitude also makes powerful men more balanced when they return to the world. Because they are used to standing alone, they don't need constant validation or agreement. They can listen deeply to others without feeling threatened by different views. They can lead groups, make decisions, and face criticism with calmness, because they have already built an inner space that cannot easily be shaken. Importantly, solitude does not make them cold or distant. On the contrary, by spending time alone, they have more energy, patience, and kindness to share with others. Solitude becomes the well from which they draw strength and compassion. They show up more present in relationships, more thoughtful in conversation, and more grounded in challenges. In the end, powerful men treat solitude not as an escape from life, but as a return to their true selves. It is in these quiet moments, away from applause, noise, and expectations, that they renew their vision, reset their minds, and remember why they do what they do. And through this habit, they carry into the noisy world a calm confidence that silence taught them, a strength that does not need to shout to be felt. Habit 7. They choose their circle carefully. Powerful men know a truth that is both simple and profound. The people closest to you don't just influence your mood. They shape your mindset, your habits, and ultimately, the direction of your life. While many drift through friendships by chance or stay connected out of habit, powerful men are intentional about the company they keep. They understand that every conversation, every shared moment, and every influence either builds them up or quietly tears them down. So they choose their circle not by convenience, but by purpose. This choice isn't about coldly cutting people out to appear superior. Rather, it is about protecting something deeply precious, their focus, energy, and vision. Powerful men spend their limited time with those who share similar values, discipline, honesty, kindness, ambition, and who are willing to challenge them to grow. They look for people who can tell them the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, and who celebrate their victories without envy. These relationships become a quiet source of strength, reminding them of who they are and pushing them toward who they can become. At the same time, powerful men recognize the quiet danger of negative influences. They notice how time spent around constant gossip, endless complaining, or shallow distractions slowly erodes motivation and clarity. They may still show respect and kindness to everyone, but they keep emotional distance from those whose presence feels heavy, draining, or misaligned with their purpose. They understand that energy is limited and choose to spend it where it matters most. This careful choice of circle also reflects their belief in mutual growth. Powerful men don't just look for what others can give them. They also bring value, support, and inspiration to those around them. They aim to be the kind of friend or partner who listens deeply, offers thoughtful advice, and leads by example. In doing so, they help create an environment where everyone rises higher, rather than competing to pull each other down. What's interesting is that this habit often makes their social circle smaller, but far richer. They might have fewer people they call close, yet those relationships feel deeper, safer, and more real. There's less need for masks or pretending, because everyone in the circle respects honesty and growth over empty approval. Importantly, this careful choosing doesn't come from fear of others. It comes from respect for themselves and their mission. Powerful men know that it is impossible to build a meaningful life while surrounded by negativity or distraction. So they protect their circle the way a gardener protects a healthy tree from weeds. Not because the weeds are bad, but because they threaten the life they are trying to grow. In the end, this habit becomes part of their quiet power. When others see them, they see not just an individual, but the reflection of a strong, positive, and focused network behind them. A supportive circle multiplies their impact, while a toxic one quietly destroys it. By choosing wisely, powerful men ensure that every relationship adds meaning, strength, and purpose to their journey, and that, over time, makes all the difference. Habit 8. They read to expand, not just to escape. In a world overflowing with distractions, powerful men choose reading not just as a way to pass the time, but as a quiet, deliberate tool to stretch their minds and deepen their understanding of life. While many people pick up a book only to escape reality, to momentarily forget worries and responsibilities, powerful men read to engage with reality more powerfully. For them, books are not walls to hide behind, but doors that open to new worlds, ideas, and ways of thinking that can transform how they see and live their own lives. They read widely and intentionally. Biographies of remarkable people who turned failure into success and struggle into strength. Books on philosophy that teach them to think beyond surface opinions. Works on psychology that reveal how people feel, choose, and change. And lessons from history that remind them that human nature repeats itself, and that wisdom often comes from seeing patterns across centuries. They may also read books on business, creativity, or science, always asking, how can this help me understand myself and others better? How can this help me solve problems in the real world? Yet what truly sets powerful men apart is not just that they read more, but how they read. They do not rush through pages just to finish. They pause, reflect, underline, and sometimes write notes in the margins. When a line strikes them as true or thought-provoking, they carry it into their day, turning it over in their minds like a stone in their pocket. They understand that the value of reading doesn't come from how many books you finish, but from how deeply you let those ideas shape your thoughts, decisions, and actions. For powerful men, reading is a daily habit, not an occasional hobby. Even on busy days, they carve out time, often just 20 minutes in the morning or before bed, to sit quietly with a book. These small, steady moments of reading accumulate over weeks and years into something much bigger. A mind that is sharper, a perspective that is broader, and a character that is deeper. Reading becomes a quiet conversation across time with some of the world's wisest thinkers and most resilient leaders, giving them guidance and courage that is hard to find anywhere else. But they also know that knowledge without action is empty. Powerful men do not read only to sound clever in conversation or to collect quotes. They challenge themselves to apply what they learn, to lead better at work, to listen more patiently in relationships, or to handle challenges with greater calm. In doing so, books become living tools, not dusty trophies. Over time, this habit of reading shapes not just what they know, but who they are. It deepens their presence, sharpens their words, and expands their imagination. It helps them see connections where others see only confusion and to remain steady in a world that changes quickly. In this way, reading becomes far more than an escape. It becomes a steady bridge between knowledge and wisdom, between thought and action, and ultimately, between the man they are today and the man they are becoming. And this quiet but powerful habit of reading every day leaves a mark on every decision they make and every room they enter. Habit 9. They care for their physical health. Powerful men understand a truth that many people overlook until it's too late. The mind, no matter how sharp, cannot fully shine without the support of a strong and healthy body. True power, the kind that shows in quiet confidence and steady presence, needs a solid foundation. That foundation is built daily through choices about how they move, eat, and rest, not to impress others or fit an image, but to honor and strengthen the one body they have to carry them through life. For powerful men, taking care of their health is not a passing trend or a seasonal resolution. It is a consistent commitment, woven into daily life like breathing. They might lift weights to build strength, run to train endurance, practice martial arts to refine discipline, or do yoga to increase flexibility and inner calm. What matters most is not the type of exercise but the steady rhythm, showing up day after day even when motivation fades, because they understand the deeper purpose. Physical training is not just about muscles. It's about building resilience, patience, and mental clarity. They also see food not as entertainment or comfort, but as fuel. This doesn't mean they never enjoy a treat, but most of the time, they choose meals that nourish rather than drain them. Lean proteins, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and plenty of water become part of their routine. They learn to listen to their bodies, noticing how certain foods affect energy, mood, and focus. By respecting what they put into their bodies, they reinforce self-respect in every area of life. Rest, too, becomes non-negotiable. Powerful men don't glorify sleepless nights or endless hustle. They know that a tired mind makes poor choices, reacts emotionally, and loses the calm strength that makes presence powerful. So they protect their sleep with simple habits, keeping regular hours, limiting screens before bed, and creating a space where rest feels peaceful. In the same way, they use small daily habits, like taking short walks, stretching between tasks, and drinking enough water, to keep energy steady throughout the day. Importantly, powerful men don't view physical health as separate from mental and emotional strength. They see them as deeply connected. A morning workout isn't just for the body. It sharpens the mind for meetings and decisions. Eating balanced meals isn't just about appearance. It stabilizes mood and focus. Rest isn't laziness. It is preparation for the next day's challenges. Through this lens, health becomes not vanity, but strategy. A living investment in their ability to lead, think clearly, and remain grounded in stressful moments. What makes this habit so quietly powerful is consistency. They don't chase quick results or extreme programs. Instead, they choose simple, sustainable routines and stick to them for years. Over time, this steady discipline shapes not just their physique, but their posture, energy, and confidence. When they enter a room, people may not immediately notice why they feel different, but they do. The calm breath, upright stance, and quiet focus come from a body cared for with respect. In the end, powerful men treat physical health not as an afterthought, but as part of who they are. By keeping the body strong, they protect the mind, deepen their presence, and ensure they have the strength to meet life's challenges with clarity and calm. And in this way, daily choices about food, movement, and rest silently build a strength that can be seen, felt, and trusted by everyone around them. Habit 10. They stay humble, even when winning. In a world that often celebrates loud victories and flashy displays of success, powerful men quietly practice a different, rarer art: humility. They know that real strength does not need to announce itself. Their presence isn't built on shouting, boasting, or constantly reminding others of their achievements. Instead, it comes from a calm confidence rooted in knowing who they truly are, and accepting that no matter how far they've come, there is always more to learn and room to grow. Powerful men understand that arrogance is often a mask for insecurity, while humility is a sign of real inner security. When they succeed, they don't rush to claim all the credit or show off. They remember those who helped them along the way, mentors who guided them, teammates who supported them, and even critics whose words pushed them to improve. This habit of gratitude keeps them grounded, reminding them that no success happens in complete isolation. They also stay humble by asking questions rather than pretending to know everything. Even if they've spent years mastering a skill, they still listen to fresh perspectives, eager to learn something new. Instead of shutting down opposing views, they invite conversation, because they see every discussion as an opportunity to refine their thinking. This openness makes them better leaders, colleagues, and friends. People feel heard and respected around them, which deepens trust and loyalty. Humility also shows in how they handle mistakes and failures. Powerful men do not hide their errors or blame others to protect their image. They take responsibility, reflect honestly, and, most importantly, correct their course. By doing this, they model a kind of quiet strength that inspires others. Strength not in pretending to be perfect, but in being real enough to admit imperfection and wise enough to learn from it. Staying humble also means never forgetting where they started. Even when they achieve great things, financial success, recognition, or leadership roles, they keep a mental note of the early struggles, sacrifices, and moments of doubt that shaped them. This memory keeps their ambition honest and their compassion alive. When they see others starting their own journey, they offer encouragement rather than judgment, remembering what it felt like to be there themselves. What's remarkable is that humility doesn't make them smaller. It makes them larger in the eyes of others. While people may admire talent or charisma, they trust and respect humility. It shows that behind the confidence and capability is someone real, approachable, and deeply human. This authenticity becomes a powerful magnet. People naturally want to follow, support, and work with someone who combines strength with kindness. In the end, humility becomes not just something they practice, but part of who they are. It shapes their words, actions, and even thoughts, keeping their hearts open to growth and connection. By staying humble even when winning, powerful men avoid the trap of pride that can isolate and blind them. Instead, they keep learning, keep listening, and keep building bridges. And this quiet, steady humility becomes one of the strongest parts of their presence. A presence that doesn't demand respect but quietly earns it day after day. Habit 11. They act, reflect, then act again. One of the most misunderstood ideas about powerful people is that they always know exactly what to do before they do it. But in truth, what makes powerful men different isn't perfect planning or endless certainty. It's their willingness to move forward despite uncertainty, then learn and adjust as they go. They live by a quiet, disciplined cycle. Act, reflect, then act again. This simple rhythm, repeated daily, turns small steps into great progress and mistakes into valuable lessons. While many people get stuck in overthinking, waiting for the perfect moment, the flawless plan, or absolute confidence, powerful men understand that waiting too long is itself a choice, often the wrong one. Instead, they value momentum. They begin with action, knowing even a small, imperfect step moves them closer to clarity than standing still ever could. It could be sending that message, making that call, starting that project, or simply testing an idea in a real-world way rather than endlessly debating it in their minds. But what truly sets them apart is what happens next. Reflection. After each action, they pause to honestly evaluate what happened. Did it move me closer to my goal? Where did I hesitate? What response did I get? What can I change next time? This isn't self-criticism for the sake of guilt. It's self-examination for the sake of growth. Powerful men turn experience into insight because they take the time to step back and really see, rather than rushing blindly from one task to the next. Importantly, reflection doesn't become an excuse to stop moving. After reflecting, they take action again, now smarter, more focused, and more prepared. Over time, this habit creates a cycle of continuous improvement. Every attempt becomes sharper, every mistake becomes a lesson, and every lesson becomes part of their natural way of thinking and doing. This habit trains them to see mistakes not as signs of failure, but as stepping stones toward mastery. Through this process, powerful men also develop quiet confidence. It isn't the loud, showy confidence that says, "I'm always right." Instead, it's a deeper confidence built on lived experience. They've tested ideas, adapted, and grown stronger each time. When people meet them, they can sense this calm steadiness. It comes from knowing they've survived past missteps, learned from them, and know they can do so again. This habit also makes them fast learners. While others wait for certainty, powerful men gather real-world feedback and adjust quickly. They become skilled at reading situations, understanding people, and spotting opportunities others miss because they are not afraid to get their hands dirty. And each new project, conversation, or challenge adds another layer of insight. In the end, the habit of act, reflect, act doesn't promise perfection, but it guarantees progress. It keeps them moving forward when others freeze. It turns uncertainty into curiosity and mistakes into wisdom. Over years, this cycle of thoughtful action builds something hard to describe, but easy to feel. A presence shaped by real experience, quiet courage, and the deep understanding that growth is never finished. but always possible. And that is what makes powerful men not just doers, but doers who get wiser, calmer, and stronger with every step they take. Habit 12. They live by principles, not feelings. Feelings are powerful, unpredictable guests. Some days they bring energy and excitement. Other days, doubt, anger, or fear. Most people, without realizing it, let these changing emotions steer their actions, words, and choices. But powerful men live differently. They know that if they want to build a life of consistency and quiet strength, they cannot be ruled by feelings alone. Instead, they choose to live by a set of principles, clear, steady values that act like a compass when emotions threaten to pull them off course. This doesn't mean they deny or ignore their feelings. On the contrary, powerful men feel deeply. Frustration when things go wrong, temptation when shortcuts appear, exhaustion after long days. But instead of letting those feelings decide what happens next, they pause and ask themselves, what do my principles tell me to do now? These principles might include honesty, discipline, kindness, courage, responsibility, or respect. Over time, these aren't just words. They become the quiet framework behind every decision, big or small. For example, when anger rises in an argument, their feelings might shout, "Say something hurtful to win." But their principle of respect reminds them that harming someone else to feel powerful isn't who they want to be. When fear whispers, "Stay silent, don't take the risk," their principle of courage reminds them to speak or act anyway. And when fatigue tempts them to break a promise, their commitment to discipline keeps them moving forward, even if only a small step. By living this way, powerful men become predictable, but not in a boring sense. They become predictable in the way an old, trusted compass always points north. People around them know what to expect. Friends trust them to keep their word. Colleagues know they won't betray their values for quick gain. And even strangers sense an authenticity in their presence. This reliability builds quiet respect because others see that their choices come not from passing moods, but from deeper convictions. Importantly, living by principles doesn't make life easier. It often means doing the harder thing. It means staying calm when anger would feel good, showing patience when frustration boils, or choosing truth when a lie could avoid trouble. But over time, these choices build character, and that character becomes part of their very presence. It shows in how they speak, how they lead, and even how they handle setbacks. Feelings are still honored. They listen to them, reflect on them, and learn from them. But feelings become advisors, not rulers. The final decision always belongs to their principles. And this quiet discipline brings freedom. The freedom to stay true to themselves, no matter what storms come from outside or inside. In the end, what makes powerful men quietly powerful isn't just talent, resources, or even intelligence. It's this steady commitment to living by principles, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching. Because while feelings change from hour to hour and day to day, principles remain. And by building their lives on that solid ground, powerful men earn trust, keep their integrity, and walk through the world with a calm strength that others can feel, even if they can't quite explain why. Habit 13. They leave every place better than they found it. At the heart of true power lies a simple, quiet intention: to make the world, even just a small part of it, a little better than it was before. Powerful men live by this principle, not for praise or recognition, but because they see power not as something to guard jealously, but as something that gains meaning when it is shared. This mindset guides them in every space they enter, whether it's a meeting room, a family dinner, a brief conversation with a stranger, or even an online exchange. They ask themselves, often silently, "How can I leave this better than I found it?" This doesn't always mean grand gestures or dramatic acts of generosity. Often it looks quiet and almost invisible to others. It could be mentoring someone who feels lost, offering encouragement when someone's confidence is fading, or simply listening deeply when everyone else is too distracted to care. In workplaces, it might mean stepping in to solve a small problem that nobody wants to touch, or sharing knowledge that helps a colleague grow rather than keeping it as an advantage. At home, it could mean giving time, attention, and calm presence after a stressful day, instead of passing that stress on to loved ones. What makes this habit powerful is its intention. Powerful men don't help to be seen as helpful, and they don't act kindly to be praised as kind. They do it because they understand a deep truth. Real power multiplies when it lifts others. They know that every small act of support, wisdom, or kindness sends ripples that go far beyond what they can see. Over time, these ripples build silent respect and trust. People remember not just what was done, but how they felt around them. Stronger, braver, calmer, or more hopeful. Importantly, this habit shapes who they become. By looking for ways to serve rather than to take, they train their minds to see opportunities instead of obstacles, to spot potential rather than flaws, and to act instead of waiting for someone else. This quiet generosity becomes part of their presence, felt in their words, their patience, and even in the way they listen. In the end, powerful men don't measure success only by what they have gained, but also by what they have given. They may leave rooms richer in kindness, teams stronger in unity, or individuals braver in spirit. And they do this consistently, without demanding credit or applause, because they understand the secret. Power doesn't fade when it is shared. It grows. By leaving every place and person a little better than they found them, powerful men create an influence that endures far beyond their presence, living quietly in the lives they've touched. Final thoughts. Build your own presence step by step. You don't need to be born into wealth, fame, or privilege to build a powerful presence. Nor do you need to be loud, flashy, or forceful. True power grows quietly, rooted in daily habits done consistently and with intention. It's the small, steady actions repeated day after day that shape the way you carry yourself, the way you think, and the way others feel when they're around you. Start by waking up early and beginning your day with calm intention, giving yourself the space to prepare your mind and set your goals. Choose your words carefully, knowing that every sentence has the power to build or break. Stand tall, listen more than you speak, and train your discipline like a muscle, because discipline is the backbone of lasting success. Value solitude as a time to reconnect with your true self. Pick your circle wisely to surround yourself with those who uplift and challenge you, and feed your mind with good books that expand your thinking and inspire growth. On my channel, English Achieve, we explore these habits and many more to help you grow not just your English skills, but also your confidence and mindset. Taking care of your body, staying humble even when you win, living by principles rather than fleeting feelings, and reflecting on your actions create a foundation for your personal power. And perhaps most importantly, remember to give more than you take. Lifting others quietly builds respect and leaves a lasting impact. Over time, you will notice a subtle but profound change. You won't need to tell anyone you're powerful. They will feel it in your presence before you even speak. Becoming powerful is not about controlling others or demanding attention. It is about mastering yourself and your habits. You were never meant to blend in. You are here to build, to grow, and to leave your own quiet mark on the world. Begin today with just one habit and keep moving forward. Your powerful presence is already within you, waiting to be shaped step by step.